So that means that Duane Rankin, Suns beat writer, Arizona Republic, azcentralsports.com. You can always find him on Twitter, and he's a great follow at Duane Rankin. Man, it's good to have you on the show with all this stuff breaking. It's Jimmy B and Manuch. Duane, how are you, pal?
Hey, how you guys doing?
It's a good day. Where are you on the Bradley Beal trade? We all thought that Chris Paul was going to get moved. When you saw this deal break, were you in on it right away, or were you hoping for something different?
I guess I view it differently. I'm not the, yeah, or no. I mean, it is not my job to be on that front either way. I just look at it from two angles. Financially, he's going to be due considering his age, considering that he's been injury prone, and considering the contract. It just seemed like, okay, they're not going to. That seemed like a tall thing to do, especially when you look at the new collective bargaining agreement. Now they didn't take on Beal's contract, which is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
But you're getting a guy that's 30 years old, who will turn 30 this month. Obviously, a great scorer. They'll have to figure out a way to do a lot with veteran minimums. It's going to be like Miami Heat with LeBron and D Wade and Chris Bosh. It's going to be like piecing it together. So that's the task that they have in putting together a roster. Then obviously the elephant in the room is Deandre Ayton. So when I look at the trade, I go, okay, what's next? It's like, what Bradley Beal is. He can obviously put the ball in the hole in multiple ways. I've seen him light it up from three. Like this guy can score with just about anybody in the league, and now you're putting him together with two other guys, obviously in Durant and Booker, who can score. So somebody's going to be open. And so it's a matter of how the team and the coaching staff make this offense to fit those three guys so that they get the maximum out of them. And again, it's building the roster. Last year guys were left open for shots, didn't make them. You got to have those kind of guys. You got to have those kind of guys ready to catch and shoot. You're going to have guys that can defend. Again, three guys aren't going to win a championship. But those three guys should make the other guys better. So I look at it from probably more angles than I need to, but I look beyond whether it's thumbs up or thumbs down.
Everybody keeps saying those three guys. What about that fourth guy, that DeAndre Ayton guy, who's, when you look at this, Duane, as you alluded to at the CBA, this is basically 4 max contracts on a team. But what about that fourth guy? Is he still on the team? When they go to camp, is he not on the team? Because all you hear from everybody is those three and maybe that fourth guy being DA.
I mean, they got to explore the market. I mean, you can't have a player like that who teams would want and not see what you can get in return. I mean, they could get 2 or 3 guys with that salary. Then you don't have to then you don't have to, just be relying on veteran minimums to fill out a roster. So that's on the one end. On the other end, you have someone that he still needs developing, which means there's still room for improvement, which means that you haven't seen what he can completely be. So do you bank that, okay, you bring him back, we have a coaching staff that's going to get the most out of him, a new coaching staff that can get the most out of him? Or are you like, you know what? We're going to roll with these 3 that we got, and we're going to build this team around him. Because you have Ayton, he can't just be just a secondary piece. He's got to be an integral part of the offense because his ability to do things would open it up for other guys and open it up, honestly, for Booker, Durant, and Beal. So, again, there's a lot to unpack. So to sit and say he'll be back, he won't be back. Well, they explore the market. You see what you can get back for him. If you feel that's enough, then you trade him. If you don't, you won't, and you come with those 4 guys for camp and thinking that Frank, it's on you to make this work. And there's a lot. It seems like the season is far off. But some decisions are going to be made here within the next 2 weeks. to figure out what they're going to do with this roster.
Frank Vogel is, I guess, not famous, but he's infamous as far as working with big men. When the Lakers won the title, he had big men that all worked together very well under his tutelage. Is that something then that you would say favors keeping Ayton? Or if a deal is just too good to pass up, you unload him anyway?
The deal obviously is going to play a huge role, but also keep in mind, Anthony Davis was an all-star before Frank Vogel got a hold of him. Okay,
true. Yep.
The Dwight Howard was an all-star before Frank Vogel got a hold of him. And JaVale McGee, granted, he was a role player, but he had won a championship, at Golden State. So he got guys that either A, were already established, or B, someone who played a role. He has neither with Ayton. He has someone that is better than a role player, but he's not a perennial all-star.
Okay.
So it's in the middle. So you have to develop. If you're going to keep him, then you have to go into the mindset of, he needs to be better, and this is how we can make him better. And if you don't do that and think you're going to just be who you've been, that's not good enough, because it wasn't good enough against Denver. Mm-hmm. It hasn't been good enough against Anthony Davis. And those are the two guys that if you're trying to get through the West, you're probably going to run into. And so he has to be better. The question is, A, it's on him to be better. B, it's on the staff to help him be better. And if you're going to keep him, you got to put that time into effort into making him better. Because the truth is, Durant, Beal, and Booker, they know how to play.
Yes.
Okay? What they're trying to figure out is, how can Ayton, if he stays, fit in with that? Is he just someone that just set screens and then you just throw it to him, he shoots just 6, 7, 8 times a game? Or is he going to be a real factor within the offense and defensive structure of this team? If he's not going to be someone that's going to be a huge factor in it, then they might as well just move him. But if they think that he could be someone that can play an intricate role and win the championship, then it becomes, what are you going to give us in return for us to part with someone we think that could help us win a title?
But Duane, I've been a Suns fan, I've been a Suns fan for 55 years. I've been there from day one. I know how that movie is going to end up. I'm trying to think, just because you got another guy at the projector, i.e. a new head coach, what's going to change into the end of that movie? I guess is for a lot of us Suns fans that say, go make the move if you can, because we know that if he's got the stripes of a zebra, he's a zebra. He's not a thoroughbred. I guess that's my contention when I hear everybody talk about it. I talk about it. We just had about 6 fans here at Barrio, Queen, and Scottsdale say, trade him. They've seen enough. And they're all huge Suns fans.
There are also Suns fans who would fight you over that whole idea of trading.
They want him traded. They want him gone.
They don't want to see him go. Again, I've said it before. I'll say it again. He's the most polarizing guy on the team.
Yes.
He has devote. I mean, devote people who think that the Suns didn't get what they didn't get. It's the Suns' fault. That they didn't get what they needed to get out of him that win a title. It's Monty Williams' fault because they had these issues between each other. They didn't involve him in the offense. It's everybody else's fault, not Ayton's fault. It's everyone else's fault.
Yeah.
So that contingent is out there. Now, whether you heard from him in Scottsdale or wherever, I can
3 minutes.
My phone and my email is flooded with don't move him. He's this, that, and the third. Now, do I get the same on your end? Yeah. They come in too. That's why I say he's the most polarizing guy on the team.
Sure.
I'm with you on that 100%. 100%.
So what are we going to get out of him? We're going to get what's it going to be?
Come on, Manuch. Jeez.
I mean, again, like I said, I've heard, what I heard initially before the Bradley Beal deal was, and he did something extraordinary for Ayton. They got something extraordinary with Beal. So now it becomes, okay, you think you're going to hit a home run again with Beal and Ayton, what you going to get in return? Or are you willing to, okay, we need stretch 4. We need a shooter. We need whatever you feel like you need for this roster, can you get that in a trade with Ayton? Can you get
2 minutes
to help the depth? Because again, if you keep Ayton, now you've got 4 starters intact. If you don't, now you're going to get 3, and then you got to figure out who these other 2 people are. And so you better be getting in that trade somebody in return that you can throw in there as a starter. If you're not getting that, if you're just getting role guys, no, you don't part ways with him for role guys. You part ways with him, and you're hoping that one of the guys can start and be a contributor right away, and then maybe the other guy is a bench guy, reserved as playing in the rotation. If you're not getting that, and you just getting, they just want to throw you. Oh well, we just want you. You can have this just to match the salary. No, you don't. You don't do that. But they look. This is why James Jones is in the role he's in, and this is his job to figure this out.
Were you surprised that Chris Paul came out and referenced Isiah Thomas?
1 minute. 1 minute.
Did that catch you by surprise a little bit or not?
I wouldn't say surprised. I would just say that Chris knows what he's doing. You know, Chris Paul is someone who, how do I say this? This man knows this league through and through.
Yep.
And I think that he understands how decisions are made. I mean, look, how many teams does he play for?
Last time I counted was 25.
New Orleans, Clippers. Yeah, I got
Houston.
Houston
New Orleans, Clippers.
OKC.
Rockets, and OKC.
Yeah.
Okay, this is about to be another team. Okay, so he knows how this works.
Sure.
And so, referencing Isiah, I wasn't really that surprised. I mean, Isiah is obviously someone that Isiah trusts. He's been at the games with Isiah, home and away. The history between them is long. I mean, Matt Isiah grew up, seeing Isiah Thomas in Detroit.
Yes.
So it's like they go way, way back. So there's no surprise that, and it's been known. It's been known that Isiah has been someone that Isiah has reached out to as far as for advice and help. And Isiah's going through this for the first time. So he in some ways, he needs somebody that knows that has the knowledge of an Isiah Thomas to help him navigate through what he's going through. I mean, every time at every turn, this is new. Everything's new what he's experiencing right now. So, but look, Chris, I tell you what, if Chris ends up back in LA, whether it's Lakers or Clippers, you talk about 4 games worth watching.
Oh yes.
But against the Suns, those will be 4 games definitely worth watching.
I'm with you on that 100%, pal. Absolutely. Man, it's always good when you take time and come on the show with us. We always appreciate you. You have a great day, pal.
All right, guys. Y'all be easy.
All right. There you go. Duane Rankin. You can follow him on Twitter at Duane Rankin and his great articles, Arizona Republic, AZCentralSports.com.